High-end master model, Darkhorn Harry Special. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we have the high-end master model Darkhorn Harry Special from Kotobukiya. This kit was released in April of 2012, so that's been a long time. Unfortunately, I don't have the box anymore, but here's what the box art looks like. And when I actually bought this kit, it cost me 5,840 yen. I don't think you can get that price anymore, unfortunately. Damn you, inflation. But I digress, on to the review. So here's the kit. Straight build, no panel lining, no stickers. I don't even think it came with stickers. And if you didn't know, this Harry Special is actually a recolor of the traditional Darkhorn. If you're wondering, here's what the normal Darkhorn looks like. And if you're curious of what the differences are, clearly you can see, different color, also 2 horns here in contrast to the normal Darkhorn singular horn. And there's more weapons. There's noticeably a larger cannon located on its back, which is exclusive for this kit, and as a Zoid being released in the early years, it does come with some minifigures, all of which we'll be taking a look at the weapons and the figures later on in the video. Now back onto this kit, the Darkhorn Zoid is actually based off a Styracosaurus, and since I'm such a paleo nerd, I absolutely love the design of this kit. It's a giant robot dinosaur with lots of weapons, don't see nothing wrong there. And like I said earlier, this is a recolor of a traditional Darkhorn. The silver on the normal Darkhorn is now replaced with this gold injected plastic. Truth be told, when you actually have the kit in front of you, the gold doesn't look that great. It's just because of my setup with all the lights hitting it, it looks like it's really reflective. In reality, the gold's nothing special. And unfortunately, it's not the nice gold chrome, it's the gold injected plastics, which I don't particularly like. That being said, I still think the gold contrasts really well with the black and grays of the kit. For the kit itself, because it's a Zoid, it has a lot of surface level detail, a boatload of mechanical elements found throughout the kit, even on the other side, which is something I absolutely love with Zoid kits. No hollow pieces here. We got textures and tread marks for the bottom of the feet, bringing out as much realism as possible, I guess. Additionally, something I totally forgot, there's quite a bit of green underneath here. And with this amount of detail, a really good paint job would definitely spice it up. Overall appearance, the Darkhorn is a very mean looking kit, and despite being a tacky gold, the gold definitely still makes it stand out quite a bit. And if not that, the weapons will definitely catch your attention. But being so big and bulky, let's see how well the articulation is. And before we begin with articulation, I'm just going to remove this giant weapon unit on its backpack. It's going to make it easier to move around, but we'll come back to it later on in the review. And like always, I'm starting with the head. It can move side to side this much. Here's a top down view, very minimal. Up and down head tilt. The mouth could open and close this far. The gun underneath the chin could rotate, as can the guns on the frills, allowing you to rotate them slightly forward. The cockpit hatch can open and close. You are also able to remove the cockpit by just popping off this piece over here, exposing this little pod, and you can put the pilot figure of Harry right in there. But my little figures will stay in the plastic. Moving on to the neck, it can extend and retract. Head could perform a 360, but yeah, pieces do fall off. The forelimb has this much of an internal-external shoulder rotation, this much of an abduction. The forelimb would be able to perform a 360, but it does get caught onto the head. Now I just remove the forelimb to make this easier. This small weapon could almost 360 rotate, but it gets caught on this cap here. Very minimal elbow bend, but it could straighten up this far. The foot side-to-side pivot is actually very good, due to 2 joints, one on the top of the ankle and one on the top of the foot. We also have this much of a dorsiflexion and toe point. Additionally, the small little toesies can move up and down. Pointless but very nice extra detail. As for body articulation, we have a very minimal side bend, as well as ab crunch and back extension. Barely even a wiggle. There are also these missile pods on the side of the body that's able to flip out. Coming along the hind legs, they're able to internally externally rotate this far. There's this much of an abduction. And like the forelimbs, this weapon over here could almost 360 rotate but also still gets caught up here. There's a limited knee flexion and extension. And like the forelimb, there's a double joint here that allows really good ankle pivot, and the foot's able to dorsiflex and extend this much. The rear feet also got these toesies, which you could flip down, just like the front foot. Moving on to the back, we have these guns that could rotate almost 360, as well as a good upward rotation. The tail is made up of multiple segments with a joint in between each segment, giving it pretty good flexibility within the tail, in which it could bend up and down and side to side. So a pretty good amount of movement in the tail, which is not surprising. Despite looking pretty blocky and stumpy, it's got pretty good articulation all around, but probably because of the design, I have an issue putting it into a pose I actually like. And right now, without the weapon unit on, it looks kinda naked. So let's move on to the extras and accessories. So radio, exclusive for this kit, we get this Hyper Beam Cannon, a massive looking weapon with a very cool opening gimmick over here. By sliding this piece here, you can open and close these flaps on top. The cannon is quite large, has a good amount of detail on it, and has a decent amount of colored part separation. It's also attached to this arm over here, allowing you to angle the cannon a variety of ways. In addition, the front of the cannon could be extended slightly. They could have left this part bare, but I do like the amount of detail they actually put in. And to equip the cannon, there's a peg on the bottom of the cannon's arm, and you can just slot it in between any of these two holes. Also, because I forgot to show you this, on the beam cannon itself, you are able to flip out these pieces here, revealing a clear green piece. I totally forgot these were even here. And the green pieces have some nice designs on them. Not sure what the entire function of this is, but it's a cool little gimmick. And overall the cannon looks great. Too bad it's exclusive for this kit. But you know what's not exclusive? The Gatling unit. And there's a lot of moving pieces here. Firstly, we have this little mini gun that could rotate 360. This cannon over here that could rotate in and out, as well as being able to perform a 360. The Gatling gun unfortunately isn't able to move at all, but the whole weapon unit is still very cool looking. In addition, the ammo belt is actually made of rubber, so that's pretty cool. The whole weapon unit does have a pretty good amount of detail on it, though it's just hard to see because of the gold. You can actually panel line this quite a bit if you want. And to attach the Gatling unit, it's also very simple. There's 2 points of attachment. Just insert the peg into the unoccupied hole, then attach this piece that's connected to the ammo belt right over here onto the back. Also, just to tell you, the front part of the Gatling unit as well as the back part falls off quite a bit. It's not much of a big deal to reattach them, it's very easy, but it does happen quite often, just letting you know. And fully equipped, the Darkhorn Harry Special looks amazing. Is it practical? Probably not. But if you're into this hobby, you're not looking for practicality anyways. Also, being an old Zoid kit, we also have some minifigures. Like I showed earlier, they're still in the plastics. I don't really have any way of displaying them, so I don't want to lose them. And the minifigures are actually really well painted. It's really unfortunate they don't do these anymore. But this kit does come with 4 of them. And firstly, we got, I believe this little robot is called Benjamin. Nice looking paint job, really good with the details as well. Secondly, we got Harry Champ himself. Then we got a minifigure of Sebastian. And lastly, we got Harry sitting, which you could actually put in the cockpit. Pretty good paint job. I don't see any spillage, lines are really nice, and also the details are there. This kit does come with a Zoid core, stationed here in its chest. I would like to show you this, but I would have to pretty much take apart the whole body. But here's what it looks like in the manual. And pretty much using the original Darkhorn's frame, it also comes with all these little extra bits, like the Darkhorn singular horn, and enough bits here to make extra weapons and equipment. And then you got a lot more little extra small pieces here and there. The Darkhorn Harry Special has a good amount of accessories and extras. Absolutely love the weapons, definitely fitting for the Zoid. But it is a Zoid and it's pretty old. Let's see how well it stays together. Just gotta find a good grip. Gonna hold it right by its tummy and back. Please don't break. Looking back to the footage, I think I should have shook it a little harder. I didn't really have a good grip on it and I didn't want to just throw it around, but it held up pretty well. But that's good news, it didn't explode. Doesn't mean it's a perfect kit. It's gotten significantly loose since I built it, and I guess just comes with age, as you can clearly see with the leg falling off. The good news is the modern day Zoids seem to be holding up a lot better than their older compatriots. And if you're wondering how big this kit is, it's around 13 inches long or 33 centimeters. As for the height, well, the full cannon extended all the way up is 11 inches, and the Darkhorn's body is around 4.5 inches. As for size comparison, here is the entry grade ARC-72, master grade ARC-72, and here there's actually another fellow Zoid, the smaller high-end master model Command Wolf, and the larger high-end master model Psycho Dinosaur. Here it is next to Haro, DK, Doraemon, then we got some pots and pans. The Darkhorn is quite a bulky boy, so it's got some shelf presence to it, even when surrounded by many other Zoids. And the review is over. The Darkhorn Harry Special is an amazing kit. It's gotten loose over the years, but it still holds up at least a little better than the other ones. And though just because of the design of the kit, it might not be really posable, it does come with a lot of extras and accessories. Though that might not fix the posability, it's nice to have. And I know this one's a special release version, so you might not be able to get your hands on it without paying a crazy price. But you can still buy the normal Darkhorn. It just won't be gold, and it won't have the giant Daka cannon. But it's okay, it's still the same thing pretty much. Anyways, thanks for watching my video. I hope you like it. I enjoy making it. Let me know what you think. Toodles!